The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
Opening week baseball is presented by Mitsubishi Motors. And tonight it's game 2 of a 3-game series from the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Opening day saw Colby Rasmus hit his first home run of the year. He also took one away. And Skip Schumacher in the lineup tonight, still searching for his first base hit. Welcome to Cardinals baseball, along with my partner Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And the Cardinals on opening day, Al, good pitching, obviously great hitting, especially with the home runs, and they get off to the right start.
Well, that's exactly right. Anytime a starting pitcher will take the mound with a lead, you know good things are going to happen. And of course, the Cardinals piled on 12 runs in that opening outing, and boy, everything just kind of fell into place. You look for more of that today, especially with Wainwright on the mound.
Yeah, you and I both agree either Carpenter or Wainwright could have won the Cy Young from a year ago. Here's the 5 guys that received votes. Lincecum, who eventually won it. Carpenter, who was 17-4, won the ERA title. Wainwright led the league in wins with 19. Then Vasquez, who's now with the Yankees, was with the Braves. And Danny Herron, the Arizona Diamondback. Adam Wainwright, when he's right, that big 12-6 curveball can be a nasty weapon. Well, it's a swing and miss type pitch. Wainwright, by the way, had more first place votes than Lincecum or Carpenter. But the one thing that the Cincinnati Reds are going to try to do is get him to elevate. They feel that that curveball is hittable when it's up. They know when it's down, they swing and miss. All right, looking forward to this one. It's game 2 of the season. And in game 1, we saw home runs, 2 from Albert. Rasmus, Molina with a grand slam. We'll take a look at that when we come back. It's Cardinals baseball tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. Crowd is finally in as we get you set for game 2 between the Cardinals and the Reds here on Fox Sports Midwest. Home runs aplenty, 4 of them for the Cardinals on opening day. Albert Pujols twice. It was also Colby Rasmus and Yadier Molina going deep. And don't forget about the Sonic Blast of the game. When a Cardinals player hits a home run this season, a regular-size Sonic Blast is only 99 cents the next day at St. Louis area Sonic Drive-In. Sonic, America's Drive-In. We're edging closer to our first pitch. Game 2 of the regular season coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. By Steak and Shake, life needs flavor. And by Chevy's Expert Auto Service. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at STLchevy.com. Hopefully this rain stays away. We've been hearing about the forecast, and it's supposed to rain earlier this afternoon. Didn't happen, maybe tonight, but hopefully it stays away, and we'll get baseball in this evening. Let's take a look at Tony La Russa's lineup for game 2 of this series against Cincinnati. Second baseman Skip Schumacher leads it off, followed by the shortstop Brendan Ryan, and then Albert Pujols, last year's MVP. Matt Holliday, Colby Rasmus, and Ryan Ludwig, Yadier Molina, David Freese, and Adam Wainwright, Southwest Airlines starting lineup. And the Cardinals will face a hard thrower, Johnny Cueto. Made 30 starts last year, .500 record. And his numbers are presented by Marshall Wireless. 23 years of age. He's entering his 3rd big league season. For the first time, he did not pitch winter ball. They felt last season pitching winter ball, and then also in the World Baseball Classic pitching for his native Dominican, that he wore out during the season, and it really bore it out. He had a period after a good start, 8-4 start, he went 0-6 with an ERA over 10. The defense behind Johnny Cueto tonight. Big Gomes, Stubbs, and Bruce in the outfield, so a different look there as opposed to opening day. Roland Cabrera, Phillips, and Votto, same form on the infield, and Johnny Cueto and Ramon Hernandez, the battery. It's opening night here in Cincinnati. You may have heard Jim Hayes talk about that in the pregame show. They've got the big band here, and they're all in tuxes. So not just opening day, but they've made it a 2-day event with an opening night here in Cincinnati. It's a nice try, but it's fallen a little short in capacity crowd. We had the 5th largest crowd, great American ballpark history on opening day, but this is what we've been accustomed to over the last few years. As the first pitch is a strike to Skip Schumacher, went 0 for 5 on Monday afternoon, also committed an error.
But he has one of his favorites on the mound.
And a ground ball hit to short. Cabrera up with it, makes the play.
Talking with Mark McGuire about Schumacher, he's been rolling over on a lot of balls. You know, it's been out in front a little bit, so I think it's even a positive just that he hit it to the left side of the infield.
Game time temperature 72 degrees, and we saw a lot of home runs on opening day, not just here in Cincinnati, but across Major League Baseball. There's a look at Big Mac, but you know, you had a situation where the weather across the country has been rather warm, and the balls are flying out of the ballpark for opening day.
And it'll be about a high of 55, 57 for tomorrow afternoon's game. And we're expecting some nasty weather, hopefully after this game and early morning, and it should stop for game time tomorrow.
1 ball, 1 strike on Brendan Ryan with Albert Pujols on deck. Brendan on opening day went 1 for 4.
2 for 6 off of Cueto, but Cueto is a very exciting young pitcher.
One of the things that they've been working with Cueto on is where he lands. Watch his left foot. You might remember how he used to finish, which his left foot would be flying towards the first base line and almost sling the ball up there. Very similar to a Pedro Martinez, but new pitching coach here. They've got him trying to finish more towards home plate.
And part of what they is doing is they feel he can keep the ball down when he ends up directly towards home plate. When he falls off to the first base side is when he has trouble throwing strikes.
3-1 pitch hit in the air to center field. Stubbs under it, 2 away, and it brings in Pujols. The new pitching coach is Brian Price for Cincinnati. Well, the big one on that list is at the top of all those players, the home runs in their first at bat this season. Jason Hayward, the 20-year-old for Atlanta, first ever major league at bat, and he hit a 3-run homer, and everybody's talking about him in Major League Baseball.
And Hank Aaron, very lofty goals. He's going to be very good for the black community and hopefully get a lot of youngsters back playing baseball.
And you notice there on that graphic, it was everybody other than Pujols who homered in their first at bat. Of course, Albert did it. Then he homered later in the game.
And you saw Garrett Jones homered in his first 2 at bats for Pittsburgh.
Well, they say with Hayward, it's not just the power, but he's 6'5", and it's the plate discipline already at the age of 20. They say he just doesn't chase pitches out of the zone, and it's been the case for Albert Pujols for just about 10 years.
You'd be surprised how many times hitters get themselves out. And usually it's because of them chasing balls out of the strike zone, not having that balance way out in front.
2 balls and 1 strike on Albert Pujols. Outfield is deep. Inside Albert, Matt Holliday on deck.
I feel the approach to hitting off of Cueto is to look away, trying to center the ball out to the opposite field. He'll throw enough to keep you innocent.
3-1, hit right side, slicing, and that'll get out of play. So if you missed it on opening day, Albert Pujols went 4 for 5, and that's how he got it going in the first. With 2 strikes, a home run to left center. Later in the game, a line drive to right center field that left the ballpark. Also had 4 runs scored, which matched his career high for a single game. The 3-2 pitch to Pujols. Ripped foul. It was his 10th opening day for St. Louis. And his 7th straight opening day start at first base. As you get a look at the Fox tracks. When he's been pitching there a little bit outside, not going so much in on Albert.
Well, one of the reasons it was evident after Albert's opening day and the fact the Cardinals hit 4 home runs, Dusty Baker said Cueto and all of his pitchers have to get the ball down.
Another 3-2, and Pujols draws the walk. So good at bat by Pujols. And it brings in Matt Holliday. Holliday hit the ball hard 3 different times, only had 1 hit to show for it on Monday. Went 1 for 4.
Well, he had 1 career bat against Cueto. He's 0 for 1.
Cueto is not a big guy. He's 5'11", 210 pounds. From the Dominican Republic. And a former outfielder that couldn't hit, they said, but he could throw. So they moved him to the mound as recently as 2004. So he hasn't been doing this all that long.
In my mind, Dan, that takes a lot of wear and tear away from a young player, but often we don't really worry about the young Latin players as they're accustomed to throwing every single day for hours upon hours, and they just condition their arm to pitch.
Now in his last start, he was dealing with a stiff back, so we'll see if that hinders his performance tonight as Holliday shoots it foul. And as you talked about earlier, this is a guy that went 8-6 in the first half, 3-5 in the second half with an ERA that was close to 6, and they said he could only go about 5 innings and he would just wear out.
Well, part of that was they felt because of pitching winter ball and then going to the World Baseball Classic. So they asked him not to throw winter ball for the first time in his career.
I remember his debut, and it was a good one. 1 hit, 7 innings against Arizona in 2008, and they thought, we got something pretty special here.
And you remember how excited we were to see him, and then his first outing might have been his shortest ever against the Cardinals.
That's right.
An inning and 2/3 and allowed 8 earned runs. He was 2-0 with an ERA under 2 last year facing the Cardinals.
Holliday ahead in the count here. 2 balls, 1 strike. And a broken bat. Hit to short and a forced play at second. Adam Wainwright makes his 2010 debut when we come back. Face painting and opening night here in Cincinnati. That's what they're calling this. Game 2 of the regular season. Dusty Baker's club trying to generate offense. A team that did not hit well a season ago. Stubbs, Cabrera, and Votto here in the first. Then Phillips, Rowland, and Bruce, Gomes, Hernandez, and the pitcher Johnny Cueto. Presented by Southwest Airlines. And Adam Wainwright gets the start for the Cardinals. First pitch hit to David Freese, who was playing in. 1 away. Freese committed an error on opening day. Cardinals had 2 errors. The other was by Skip Schumacher. Holliday, Rasmus, Ludwig in the outfield. Freese, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols along the infield. In the battery tonight, Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina.
Battery of 2 Gold Glove winners.
Fastball in there for a strike. Adam last year a team leading 34 starts, but only 1 of those was against Cincinnati. Schumacher stays with it and makes the play.
Adam led the National League in wins and in innings pitched last year. So he had 233 innings. Opponent's batting average 244. Brought to you by our Marshall Wireless. And you know, maybe not the best spring, but when you reach the elite status of a Carpenter and Wainwright, you kind of go at your own pace.
There's Joey Votto. I want to go back to that last play made by Schumacher, and was talking at length with Jose Oquendo about his infield today. And he said the one thing about Skip Schumacher, he will keep everything in front. He said it does not matter how hard a ball is hit, he will knock it down. And that's one thing that he's learned, that even though his range might be, you know, not as good as some of the others, he'll try to make the play, he'll take chances, but he'll get in front of the ball and knock it down.
Pitchers appreciate that.
Maybe a broken bat here that'll carry to Colby Rasmus, and a quick inning of work for Adam Wainwright. And Colby leads it off when we come back. Top of the second here in Cincinnati. No score. The Cardinals and the Reds. And what an opening day for 23-year-old center fielder Colby Rasmus. He homered. He went 2 for 4. And defensively made one of the top plays of the game. Scott Rowland thought he had a second home run. And Rasmus brought it back in. Not quite Mark Burley-esque from opening day, but pretty darn good.
One over the fence, one between the legs.
That was an unbelievable play by Mark Burley, the St. Charles native. And for those of you that didn't see it, I don't know how you couldn't have seen it. It was on every highlight reel across the country, but a ball back at him. He knocked it with his left foot. It went over to foul territory, first base side, and he was like a long snapper in football, flipped it to Paul Konerko at first covering. Unbelievable
through
play.
His legs. Which most long snappers do.
Yes, they do. 2 balls and 1 strike on Colby Rasmus. Took some about that pitch at 83 miles an hour. 2-2.
He'll throw more changeups to the left-handed batters. And Mark McGuire was telling me he has a fastball that really kind of cuts coming in on the left-handed batters, but straighter to the right. And he likes to backdoor his slider. He tried there.
One of the reasons why folks are hopeful around Cincinnati that this can be a turnaround year is because of their pitching. It is much improved from a season ago. That misses low and in, and the second walk issued by Cueto. It started at the back end of last year. They posted the lowest ERA since 1999. And it looks like with a guy like Chapman and a few others that they have coming up, it's only going to be better.
Well, that's one of the keys. When you look at their projected rotation, you know, Chapman is the Cuban defector. He's making his United States debut on Sunday night at AAA.
This is popped up a mile high on the infield. Votto calling for it and has it. Ludwig retired.
He goes triple digits. He had a back injury. That's why he's not here right now. Mike Leake, who's their number 5 starter, has never played, you know, professionally during the regular season. He did go to the Arizona Fall League. He is their number 1 draft choice from a year ago. Didn't go out and play, went to the Arizona Fall League, and makes their team as a number 5 starter.
But that graphic really shows you, the youth of that starting 5 and just how good they could be 2011, 2012, and years to come. A lot of those players will be under the control of the Cincinnati Reds.
So a lot of people believe around baseball, if this young pitching does what people project it to be, this could be a real sleeper in the Central Division, the Cincinnati Reds.
Molina with a grand slam on opening day. Takes a ball inside.
You know, something that helps the young pitching staff is they have 3 Gold Glove winners in their infield.
It's Rowland, Cabrera, and Phillips.
Combining for 10 total. The bulk of those go to Scott Rowland. And this team did gel once he was traded from Toronto and recovered from his concussion.
Hit and run was on to perfection. Molina to right. Rasmus on his way to third. He'll stop there. First and third with 1 out.
Yachty off to a good start, and you really do like to see that hit and run because Yachty makes contact. You've got a pitcher with a couple walks here, but Tony thinks he does it. See where this location is. He's down and away. He's so good at going to the opposite field, driving that ball up there, and there was no question that Rasmus was going to go to third.
So runners at the corners for David Freese, 8th place hitter for the Cardinals. Went 1 for 4 on Monday. Up and into David.
Talked to David yesterday during the workout and said better have to feel good to get that first hit and RBI, and he kind of said yep, it really does help to kind of relax and, as I said, get a batting average.
Freese, a little liner, base hit into right field. Cardinals lead it 1-0. David Freese fights off the pitch and picks up his second ribby. So the Cardinals aggressive with the hit and run, and it pays off as Colby Rasmus scores.
Well, David Freese is going to find this opportunity. Just relax, make contact. Here he gets jammed, but he shows you that power and his strength to muscle it over the infield and pick up one of those easy RBIs and give the Cardinals that first lead.
I mean, here's a guy that can help himself in Adam Wainwright. In the bottom of the first, he only threw 6 pitches.
Hopefully he didn't do anything to that wrist. See him grabbing it as he swung wild.
Real key for Chris Carpenter in his game on Monday was a 6-pitch 5th inning. Got him over that hump, and then he picked up the win. Throw down to second, and Molina back in there.
It's a very good point, Dan, because a lot of times you'll be sailing along in the game. Remember the 4th innings when he gave up the 2 home runs. He did recover quickly, but by just having one of those quick, efficient innings, it just kind of, propels you through and you finish in the right way.
Last season, 180 average for Wainwright. Here's a 1-1. Tapped foul.
And Kendo now going to talk to Wainwright.
We've seen with certain guys, Tony La Russa will still put the bunt on even with 2 strikes.
That makes sense to me with Wainwright because he's such a good hitter.
Sure.
Why give up the out when he can drive in the run?
In the dirt. Two balls, 2 strikes. You heard Tony La Russa on the pregame show, and he's got a nasty cough and a cold going on right now. Two. First strikeout for Johnny Cueto. And there's 2 outs. Visit the official online shop of the Cardinals at Cardinals.com. Largest selection of official gear, nostalgic memorabilia, something for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source. That's Cardinals.com, and you can shop right now. Here's Schumacher, still looking for that first hit. 0 for 6 to start the year. Breaks his bat. Couple of hops to short. Force play at second. Cardinals, though, pick up the RBI from David Freese. 1-0 midway through 2. 17 starts against the Central Division last season for Adam Wainwright. Our keys to the game presented by Toyota. And he would go 10-2 with an ERA of 2.33.
And then Carpenter was even better. He was 11-0 with a 1.58 against the Central Division. So that's why we say they're the best 1-2 punch in the National League, if not all baseball. And you see the standings.
Could be a long year for that Houston club.
They lost again today, 10-4.
And the first pitch to Brandon Phillips is taken for a strike. Phillips, Roland, and Bruce for the Reds here in the bottom of the second as they trail 1-0. There's that very good curveball from Adam Wainwright.
Keep that ball down there. Just hard to make contact with it, and if you do, you just pound it in the ground.
First pitch was at 91. The next one at 72. No balls, 2 strikes on Phillips. How concerned do you think the Cardinals get, especially early on, Al, with all the innings and pitches thrown by Wainwright a year ago, to make sure that they're very cautious with him early in the season?
Well, they're both big and strong, but Dave Duncan did design the spring training regiment with both Carpenter and Wainwright having 1 fewer start than any of the other starters. And that was a byproduct of the innings pitched.
Dave Duncan will also tell you that Adam Wainwright is one of those guys that it doesn't take very long for him to get loose, and that's a factor as well. Schumacher won't get to it. And it's a base hit for Phillips. They had him shaded to pull just a bit.
Yeah, Dan, that is a very good point because he led the National League in innings pitched at 233, but because of how few pitches it takes for him to get prepared for a start, you know, he takes away a few innings where somebody else might be equivalent to throwing about 30 or 40 more innings because of how they prepare.
Remember a few years ago with Jason Isringhausen and Marty Mason wound up for a full season charting every pitch, whether it was a warm-up or in-game, and it was a huge amount.
Pitching out of the bullpen and getting about 70 innings, but because of how many pitches he used to warm up, it was like pitching 150.
Right. There's 35-year-old Scott Rowland. Sunday celebrated his birthday.
He did Monday too.
Did it with a home run.
Until Kobe took away number 2. But after the trade, and as I said, you know, very early he was hit in the head by Jason Marquis and suffered a concussion, missed almost 3 weeks. But after that, this team, the Reds team, took off and they played great baseball in September.
Just missed on the outside corner.
And you saw Molina, Wainwright not happy, and Molina just said, hey, you throw that pitch, repeat that same location, we'll get you the strikes. And very tenderly is talking to our home plate umpire, Eric Cooper, trying to fight for his pitcher.
3-1. When you think about Molina, the fact that he can eliminate the running game, but Phillips is one guy who you might think about running with on a 3-1 count. And Dusty Baker, you and I were both noting this prior to the game, how many stolen base attempts they had in spring training.
Yeah, 39 attempts in spring training. They were successful 72% of the time, and his best base stealer is on at first.
He is leaning and running. Throw by Molina. He's got him. Out. As
And
Phillips tried to avoid the tag by going over the glove, it looked like. And he's saying I was never tagged, but Molina guns him out. And here comes Dusty Baker.
Well, the throw beat the runner. And Chad Fairchild is the umpire out there. Phillips does a great time eluding the tag. And it's just one of those tough judgment calls. The umpire's in good position. The throw beats you. You know, the tag goes down. It's a swipe tag, but it looked like he may have got him in the chest before that left leg got to home plate or got to the second base bag.
Boy, right there, he looks
safe.
safe. He is safe.
But many times when that throw beats you by this far, oh, he is safe. But I like the final result.
So Molina gets the first out as Phillips is trying to steal. And the pitch to Rowland was a strike, so now full count. First walk issued by Wainwright. And it brings in Jay Bruce. Jay Bruce dealt with a broken wrist, you might remember, a season ago. Missed a couple of months, and when he came back, it was a very short time, but he was on a tear.
Early in the season, they were upset with him because he got into a home run mode. All he wanted to do was hit home runs. He was pulling off pitches. His average was really suffering. So maybe after the broken wrist, he comes back here, and you're a little more patient. But they've got him trying to drive the ball to the deep part of the field.
And that misses, and this strike zone here in the bottom of the second is awfully tight for Adam Wainwright. You forget Jay Bruce is only 23 years old.
And they have some young players that are very exciting. So that's why this team, they're going to be right there on your heels.
He is from Beaumont, Texas, and was a high school star. Nearly won the National Player of the Year coming out of high school. They said there was 30 scouts his senior year at every single game that he played in. Two balls, one strike on Bruce. Hits it the opposite way. It's slicing. Holiday back and makes the catch in front of the track. Rolling back to first.
You have to remember, big, strong guys can hit the ball out of any part of this ballpark.
You join us for afternoon baseball tomorrow. Cardinals wrap up their series with the Reds. Toyota Cardinals Live. Our pregame starts at 11 o'clock St. Louis time. Cards and Reds tomorrow afternoon right here on Fox Sports Midwest. And that'll be the debut of hard-throwing right-hander Brad Penny. Get our first look at Brad.
When he's healthy, he's always been a very good pitcher.
Good curveball by Wainwright to Ramon Hernandez.
Dave Duncan trying to tweak him a little bit. I think Brad feels very comfortable in this environment, not only with Dave Duncan, but also with his fellow starters.
Going two quickly on the 8th place hitter. Cardinals will have the big bats coming up in the 3rd. Ryan will lead it off, and then Pujols and Holiday. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Wainwright, his first of the night. Albert Pujols due up second when we come back. Who will finish with more wins? This is our text poll presented by U.S. Cellular. Text Ace A or Ace B to 432-432. Our U.S. Cellular text poll.
What do you think, Dan?
Well, I don't know.
I'm gonna
either one.
They're both going to finish with the same amount. Let's make it 22 each. Like my thinking?
I like it. Can't go wrong with that.
Give Penny 17, give Loesch 15, and Jaime Garcia 12. Take our chances.
Your fifth guy gets you 12 wins, hopefully 150, 160 innings. Jaime Garcia, you take that.
Absolutely.
Jaime will make his debut on Sunday Night Baseball for the Cardinals on Sunday, and Brad Penny, of course, tomorrow. Lifted out the left. Brendan Ryan there to make the catch.
Kyle Loesch will get the first game in the Milwaukee series. Look for a comeback season from him. Wasn't that long ago that Brad Penny won 17 games and started an all-star game.
Well, he's always been a guy that's been a big-time flamethrower when you talk about Brad Penny. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of different changes they can make with him, as opposed to having a four-seamer with a two-seamer, those kind of things, which is what Dave Duncan will preach. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pujols.
Albert walked the first time, but is 2 for 8 off of Cueto.
The two-seamer will give you that
sinking action.
Yeah, the four-seamer. A guy like Penny that throws that can blow it right by you when he's throwing 96, 97, which we haven't seen yet, but they feel once the season gets going and it warms up even more, you're going to see mid-90s. Pujols down on strikes. Looking for something else and got the gas. Second strikeout for Cueto.
He can get you in double figures in strikeouts. And we'd like to think Wainwright could do the same.
So 2 outs, nobody on for Matt Holliday. Slowly hit towards first. Votto, Cueto, safe.
Cueto was looking for the bag and just had a little nubber right off the end of the bat. And it looks like they're going to. Well, they haven't ruled it yet. Yes, they have now, a base hit. Kind of jogging down there thinking it's a sure out, and Cueto couldn't find the bag, then looked down, took his eye off it.
I'm watching Cueto right now, Al. He is slowly getting back to the mound. Remember, he was dealing with a sore back in his last start. And he doesn't look comfortable at all when he was walking back to the mound.
And Hernandez, their catcher, out to talk to him a little bit. One, he should be frustrated with himself, but two, he's not showing those body language that, that he's real happy with this play, and he shouldn't be.
PFP, huh?
PFP, but it's one of those ones that kind of got in between, where might have been a better one for Votto to almost pass it to him as he goes by him instead of waiting until they got to the bag.
We say PFP, pitchers fielding practice. Something you did
in my sleep.
Oh man. Countless times in spring training. 2 outs. Here's Colby, who walked and scored the only run of the game.
Colby did a lot. He led this ball club in walks in spring training, and that's good for a young player to start recognizing pitches in and out of strike zone.
Something is not right, I don't think, with Cueto.
Well, you can see how much he's really falling off to the first base side. What we talked about, how they tried to avoid him doing that. Instead of going straight towards the hitter, he's falling off to the side.
I wonder if he did something to his lower back, re-injured that, or is it a hamstring, but he does not look comfortable. Rasmus pops it up. That'll find the seats and out of play.
A little deliberate, isn't he? It's almost like gets to the point where he wants to throw the ball, and then it's almost a mental thought like, oh, I don't want to. But you'd like to think Dusty and Brian Price know him better than we do.
2-1 the count with 2 outs and a runner at first. Holliday off with the pitch. Throw down to second, and he's safe. Slid to the outside portion of the bag, and the tag was not quite there, and the fans don't like that after seeing the fact that Phillips was called safe on his, or rather out on his attempt, and he was safe.
The high throw gets him to the back of the bag, and I think he was safe. He gets to the bag right ahead of the tag, and the high throw by Hernandez is the difference between safe and out.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Rasmus looks at a ball.
It's that slider that Cueto likes to backdoor to the left-handed hitters. First base open, 2 outs. A lot of times you'll see an off-speed pitch here.
And it is, and he missed way wide and high. 3rd walk issued by Cueto. Let's go back to the steal here for Matt Holliday. Exmo Cam presented by Plaza Tire Service.
Very good call. That toe got there ahead of the tag. Cueto's already thrown 49 pitches. 3 more strikes than balls. And still in the 3rd inning.
Outfield straightaway and deep for Ludwig. With a swing and a miss. Cardinals lead it 1-0 on the RBI by David Freese in the top of the 2nd. Ludwig hit to the left side. Base hit. Here comes Holliday. He will score And Rasmus winds up at third. Snuck under the glove of Roland. Cabrera couldn't get to it. And it's 2-0 St. Louis.
We've seen many times that much tougher plays are just gobbled up by Scott Rowland. But this time it just eludes him, and then it gets by the shortstop. They slow it down to where it just guaranteed that Holiday would come around to score, and Kobe's all the way over to third. The Cardinals have caught some breaks this inning.
Think about the play with Cueto at first, and then Holiday just beating the tag on the steal. And by doing that, he put himself in scoring position. That's a ball that we've seen Roland get time and again. Doesn't come up with it, and the Cardinals have a 2-run lead.
Saw a ball get by Scott Rowland in game 1 that he normally catches too.
It was a long ball on opening day, but now Singai single there. Had the hit and run. They've had a stolen base today. 0-1 pitch to Yachty. That'll find the seats out of play. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, this is where Molina has thrived in his career. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that he doesn't strike out and he puts the ball in play.
That's it. You put the ball in play, you got a chance for good things to happen.
Puts it in play here, but that'll carry out to Jay Bruce. Cardinals strand 2. They have stranded 5 now in the first 3 innings. But they have a 2-run lead midway through 3 on Fox Sports Midwest. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box. Try Jack's new grilled sandwiches, the turkey bacon cheddar, or the deli trio at participating restaurants. Threw me off guard, that Skyline chili.
No, I think that might have been Montgomery Inn, you know, pulled pork, but it's scary too.
Oof.
There's Kyle McClellan's diet when we need it.
Wainwright back to work, and the first pitch hit into center. That'll drop for a base hit. Ramon Hernandez, the 8th place hitter, with a base hit. And Kyle McClellan was a guest of Jim Hayes on the pregame show.
Talking about losing 18 pounds, of trying to eliminate calories and eating a little bit better.
Kyle got himself in shape to be a starter, and didn't disappoint one bit with what he did in spring training. He did everything to make that rotation, but the Cardinals, as we saw on Monday, they need him in that bullpen from the right side. As Cueto just stabs at it.
Hernandez fell down as he was more than a third down to second base on the failed bunt attempt, and then Schumacher sneaking in behind him. It was worth the throw from Molina. Molina's picked off 33 runners in his young career.
A 1 pitch to Cueto. Good bunt. Well, if he was hurting out on the mound, he didn't show it running down the first baseline, did he?
No, and he did have a very effective bunt there.
Sacrifice good, and it brings in Drew Stubbs. .27 pitches to get through the lineup the first time for Wainwright. There's a good curveball. Very efficient, as we've seen from Adam when he's on. Normally it's quick innings. He's a guy that works very fast. And, you know, defenders love to see that.
It's a lot easier. You're on your toes instead of back on your heels.
We have not seen Wainwright throw out a baseball, which we did see the other day with Chris Carpenter and the slick baseballs.
Well, you kind of get the feeling that some umpiring crew probably took exception to that, so maybe a little more time was spent rubbing up these baseballs.
And maybe you can explain to the folks at home what that would mean for a pitcher if you have a slick baseball or the ones that are rubbed up.
Well,
because Carpenter said, hey, you can hurt somebody.
I don't really worry about Carpenter. Is much nicer than I am because he was concerned about a ball getting away in hitting and hurting somebody. I grew up with Bob Gibson, and that never entered our mind.
But what he was saying is that the grip,
yeah,
it's
slick. You know, you want them rubbed up to where it's not slick and have the ball sail on you.
Two. Ooh, we just missed it.
They have changed a rule this year that a pitcher can go to his mouth on the mound. It's a speed up rule, and you can go to your mouth when you're on the mound, but you have to definitely wipe your pant leg or wipe it off before you reach the rubber.
Little chopper hit to Freeze. He'll look back the runner. Over to Pujols for the out. 2 away.
Nice that he hits it in front of the runner so he cannot advance.
And in steps Orlando Cabrera. Cabrera is 35 years old. From Colombia, 2-time Gold Glove winner. Made it clear that he wanted to play shortstop. There were 2 teams that wanted to get him to play in the infield, but not necessarily be an everyday player at short, and that was Colorado and Washington. Colorado, of course, has an MVP candidate, it seems like, every year now, in Troy Tulowitzki, and there's a prospect with Washington, he and Desmond. So Walt Jocketty said, we need you, and he's found a home here in Cincinnati.
The reminder is Molina went out there, but with Joey Votto on it, I would hope the reminder would be get this guy out.
Good breaking ball. Jolbert Cabrera was Orlando's brother. He played in Cincinnati for 48 games.
And remember, he was in spring training with the Cardinals a couple springs ago.
Hit in the air. It is shallow right. Ludwig under it makes the catch. We played 3 and St. Louis leads it 2-0 here on Fox Sports Midwest. It's opening day for your lawn. Visit your local Lowe's on Saturday, April 10th. Scott's National Lawn Care Day, and learn tips from lawn care pros. As we edge closer to opening day in St. Louis on Monday afternoon, Houston will be in town.
I understand it's going to be excellent weather, around 75 degrees and sunny.
Beautiful.
Let's hope.
Beautiful. David Freese RBI base hit in the 2nd inning. Get out of play and foul. Cardinals had 7 different players that they used at third base, and that was a position now traditionally you want to see some power and some pop out of that, and the Cardinals didn't get it. Troy Gloss was hurt till the very end of the season. We never really saw the real Mark DeRosa, probably, with that sore wrist, so
Right.
not a lot of production for Tony La Russa out of that corner spot.
David's hit for power whenever he's been healthy.
Spent time at 4 levels last year just trying to get healthy. 323 in 17 games in the big leagues. Pulls it foul.
You know, made the opening day roster, and he ended up on the roster at the last day of the season, but a lot happened in between, including that ankle surgery.
He was telling me before the game his parents made the trek from St. Louis to watch opening day on Monday. And he, along with Scott Cooper, a couple of third basemen, that hometown guys playing for their hometown team, the St. Louis Cardinals, and those two worked out this offseason together.
Yep, and Scott Cooper gave him a lot of advice about how to handle the pressure of playing in your hometown.
Cal McClellan did that as well. 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Let's check in with Jim Hayes. And Jim, we both talked to David Freese before the game, and you know, one of the things that I know a lot of Cardinal fans are a little bit curious about, how will he do defensively? We know he can hit, but he made an error on opening day. How does he respond from here on out?
Well, his response to making that error was he wished he could have gone right back out there. He wished it was a game the following day, had to wait till today. Dan, you know, and Al knows, he's a supremely confident young man. He believes he can be productive offensively. He also believes he can fill the bill defensively. He knows he got off to a bad start in the opener, but he feels he's much better than that.
Well, he just turned 27. And of course, he was acquired from San Diego in the Jim Edmonds deal out of Lafayette High School. David Freese, and a swing and a miss by Wainwright. And the Cardinals, Jim, are going to give him every opportunity not only to win the job here in the regular season as he did out of spring training, but then keep it, because they feel he's the right guy for this particular spot in their lineup.
Well, he feels this year things are a little different because he feels like it is his position to lose right now. Last year he was in there sort of by de facto. He was kind of a stopgap because of injury. He says that the faith that his teammates and Tony La Russa have shown in him throughout the spring and up until this point is something that he thrives on, and he feels like he can do it.
I know Chris Maloney, his manager, has described him as a plus defender. Now, we haven't seen that, but we're more than willing to take you know, what Maloney says, because he's highly regarded in the organization.
Wainwright opposite way. Jay Bruce over to make the catch. 2 outs. Back to the top of the lineup in Skip Schumacher. And some former Cardinals that are coaching in the Reds minor league system. One of the big names is Bob Forsch.
And Bobby's second year of really doing anything in baseball since his retirement, and we're happy. And he said he enjoyed it last year. He's at Billings.
David Bell, former Cardinal.
Yeah. Delino DeShields is the manager at where Bob Forsch is at. But the biggest one, Tony Fossis. He is helping Chapman.
Yep. No balls, 2 strikes on Schumacher, who's 0 for 2.
Well, if Chapman never gets a word in, supposed to help him with English and everything else, and Tony.
We know Tony, there's not a chance.
I would hope Chapman is helping Tony with his charitable endeavors and maybe a little meal money.
What a good guy Tony Fossis was when he was playing with the Cardinals.
And he could talk, couldn't he?
I got a kick out of it.
I did too.
And the players did too. Kind of a free spirit. Situational lefty, if there ever was one. Two outs, nobody on. The 1-2 pitch. Skip hammers it down the right field line.
Got a hanging changeup. And just a little bit out in front. Skip's put on a lot more muscle. You know, he's a little bit stronger, and the one thing is you want him to remember how to hit to the opposite field. His line drives to left is what made him a 300 hitter.
Time called. Watching the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox the other day, Angel Hernandez did not give time called, and a lot of people believe that umpires should not be giving that as much for a couple of reasons, but one of those is to speed up the game. There's been a lot of talk about trying to speed up the game.
Well, there used to be a rule that once you entered the batter's box, you were not allowed to leave it. And now you watch every hitter will get out and imitate Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay, by fiddling with their batting gloves, you know, doing this, doing that. Pitchers used to quick pitch you, so you had to stay in the batter's box. And now it seems like umpires do everything for the comfort level of the hitter, and the pitcher has to wait, where we always see that, you know, in a real well-pitched game, the pitcher dictates the pace.
We're not in Dodger Stadium.
Well, Stubbs, the center fielder, threw it back out to, you know, he might be retrieving that beach ball a few more times tonight.
Fouled straight back again by Skip. And the Great American Ballpark is filled up a little bit tonight too.
It has. So that has worked. Their gimmick.
2-2. Fought off again. Well, regardless of what happens here, but this is bad. This is one of the better at bats we've seen so far from Schumacher.
It's getting the pitch count up a little bit. Now Cueto's throwing more strikes as it's 44-29. A lot of in the strike zone and a whole bunch out is he's run the count full.
You want your leadoff man to work that count too, and he has done that here. Another look at Fox Tracks and what's happened in this at bat with these pitches.
What, 11th pitch? We'll do it again.
Yeah.
That's what's on the field. I knew Stubbs would get tired of chasing.
Let the security guy be the bad guy.
Right.
Pop it.
Another toy for the bullpen.
That's all they need.
Yeah.
The 3-2 again. And Schumacher hits it on one hop to second. Phillips makes the play. Cardinals go in order midway through 4. And a 2-0 St. Louis lead. Bottom of the 4th rolls in. 2-0. St. Louis with the lead. Joey Votto, Brandon Phillips, and Scott Rowland coming up. Cardinals Cubs here in Cincinnati. Votto hits it the other way. Great power for Joey Votto. Homered on opening day. You know, Joey Votto led the Reds in hitting last year at .322, and he finished up 5th best in the National League.
He can flat out hit.
One ball, one strike.
He had 16 doubles in September, a club record for a calendar month. Maybe he spent a stint on the disabled list. Those numbers would be even bigger.
2 balls, 1 strike. Votto is from Canada. He had a 3 home run game already in his career, and Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, took his bat. Reds Hall of Fame, got his helmet. Of course, Dave McKay is in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame along with our buddy Larry Walker. Good pitch on 3-1. And there's a look at the Cardinals first base coach, Dave McKay. Works with the outfielders.
Watch this rip as he had it there. Pitchers love to see that reaction.
And the 3-2 pitch to Votto. Got him. Wainwright, after falling behind 3 balls and a strike, gets Joey Votto, and that's his 2nd strikeout tonight. And Votto is 0 for 2 as we flash back. April 7th, 1979. We mentioned Bob Forsch. How about his brother Ken Forsch? Throws a no-hitter against the Braves. And Bob is the only Cardinal to author 2 no-hitters in the great history of the St. Louis Cardinals.
And as a brother combination, they're the only brothers to author no-hitters at the major league level.
Here's Phillips, who singled, then was caught stealing.
Ken Last time I knew was like the farm director for the California Angels.
Two and 0. I mentioned earlier that Bob Forsch is part of the Reds organization. The Cardinals with Dennis Martinez, El Presidente, is part of the minor league system, and Mitchell Page is back with the Cardinals too.
Yeah, minor league hitter, hitting instructor.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Phillips, fly ball into right. Ludwig on the move, on the track, and makes the catch. And there's 2 away. Saturday, April 17th, all fans ages 15 and under receive a collectible Cardinals pennant, and it features the Gold Glove battery up tonight. Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright, courtesy of Coca-Cola and the Pasta House. For tickets, call 314-345-9000.
It's part of that kid's opening weekend, right?
That's
opening
right.
Day weekend.
Fireworks on Friday night. That's back this year. As Roland hits it sharply to the shortstop Brendan Ryan. He was on the outfield grass. It'll be Brendan Ryan, Albert Pujols, and Matt Holliday coming up as Ludwig made that catch for the second out. We head to the 5th. Well, the bottom of the 4th, Wainwright fell behind 3-1 on Joey Votto. And Al, he was able to come back and strike him out.
Well, when you got good stuff, you're not afraid to go and attack the zone. Here he's got a 3-1 curveball. Look at Votto down on a knee, and then he comes back with a 3-2 fastball. A lot of times people think it's going to be an off-speed pitch, but he challenged him with dead red, and he wins. Wainwright, through 4 innings, has only thrown 45 pitches, and Votto on the other side, 78.
There's a line shot that's caught by Cabrera. 6 is a serious number. When the Cardinals score 6, you get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just $0.25 the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, Cardinals score 6, you score 25-cent drink set On the Run. Brendan Ryan is 0 for 3. Pujols walked his first time up and was called out on strikes in the 3rd. Cueto with 3 strikeouts tonight.
Fastball up and in, then a changeup. A lot of people wonder why more pitchers don't go up and in on Albert. 1, they don't have the command, and 2, when they leave that pitch in the strike zone, he usually makes you pay.
2-1. Pujols hits it behind home plate and into the upper deck. The outfield is straight away and very deep. We've seen a lot of teams actually shade Pujols to the opposite field.
Well, they're pitching him inside.
And Pujols hits it out to left center. And the catch is made by Gomes. 2 outs, and Matt Holliday will be the hitter. As we turn to our This Date in Baseball History, presented by Schnucks. Ricky Horton makes his debut, retiring Jack Clark back in 1984 on a 1-4-3 double play. Now those two part of our pre and post games on FSN Midwest.
Jack doesn't remember it, and Ricky never lets him forget it. One flap down. Dennis Leonard took Ricky deep on his first big league pitch.
So Jeffrey Leonard took him deep.
Yeah, one flap down. Remember in that World Series?
Oh yeah, 1987.
87, you know.
Playoffs, yep.
Wasn't until playoffs, excuse me, wasn't until Bob Forsch knocked him down before order was restored, and the Cardinals went on to win it.
Jose Oquendo with a huge home run in that series.
Off a left-hander wearing a giant uniform.
3-0 now on Holiday.
Kendall just hit his home runs off of left-handed pitchers wearing the Giant uniform.
On 3-0, that's what he did on opening day. He was swinging and does so here and pulls it foul. Holiday out in front and pops it up. Foul territory. Votto over and makes the catch. Cardinals go quietly here in the top of the 5th. They lead it by 2 runs. Trivia is brought to you by AT&T. How many players have hit at least 2 home runs and scored 4 runs on opening day since 1952? Pujols, Xavier Nady, Dimitri Young, and Carlton Fisk. Pretty good players on that list. Two to nothing Cardinals. Bottom of the 5th rolls in. And Jay Bruce will lead it off. And a ground ball hit to second.
Change up right there, gets him to roll over.
Well, tonight Fox Sports Midwest is televising both the Cardinals game here in Cincinnati and the Blues game at Chicago. And the Blues and Blackhawks game is available on an alternate channel in many areas, including Charter Channel 3 or 8 in St. Louis, DirecTV 680, AT&T UVerse is 692. And if you'd like to find out, couldn't get that pen or pencil quick enough, where to go, just go to foxsportsmidwest.com, and that has all your channel listings. But again, I'll repeat that: Charter Channel 3 or 8 in St. Louis, DirecTV 680 or AT&T UVerse 692. So Jay Bruce retired. Here's Johnny Gomes, and that's pulled foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Jim Hayes has rejoined us, and Jim, I'm sure a lot of fans back home in St. Louis watched what happened on Monday with Ryan Franklin, and maybe they saw a guy that wasn't as sharp as we've seen him in the past. But you and I had a chance to visit with Ryan, and he's in good spirits. He thinks this could be a very good club and a good year for him.
Yeah, Ryan said that he knows his job is to get outs. He said, but in terms of the mentality of a closer, when you come into a game that is not a save situation, that there is a cushion in terms of a lead for your team, it is something different. And he says this is no indication of how he'll do when he's put into his usual spot closing out games. He got the final outs. The Cardinals got to win. That's what he cares about. But he said it's not an indication of how he's going to do as a closer this year.
And you look back at that final month, that was a struggle for him. Spring training was not overly sharp, but he said, hey, I've been in 17 of these. It's kind of tough to get it geared up, but here we go. We got to get it geared up for real now. And that's something I'm sure that he knows he's got to do, Jim, and it's very important that he has a good year.
He's not one that believes his numbers at the tail end of the season were because of fatigue. He said he got into a stretch where he didn't pitch. He kind of got out of his rhythm and never could get it back. Other people feel because he had done the same thing the year before that towards the end of the season he begins to fatigue a little bit. Now Tony La Russa, Dave Duncan said they're going to try to spread Franklin out a little bit to give him a little bit more rest, but Franklin says he doesn't think he needs it.
Hernandez lifts it to center. Thanks, Jim. We have played 5, and Colby Rasmus makes the catch. He leads it off when we come back. 2-4-0 for St. Louis, 0-2-0 for the Reds. Top of the 6th rolls in. Cardinals campout presented by Bass Pro Shops, and Tracker Boats is back. That'll be Friday, May 7th. Cardinals take on the Pirates and come spend a night on the field and under the stars at Busch Stadium. For ticket information, number to call is 345-9500 or cardinals.com/campout. Swing time is back. located down the right field line and providing our in-house entertainment between innings. Opening night is what they're calling this here in Cincinnati.
Cueto, probably his last inning of work, as his pitch count has reached 89. And very efficiently, only 53 for Adam Wainwright.
And here is Colby Rasmus. Fouls it back.
Kobe's got 2 of the 3 walks allowed tonight. He scored a run.
We'll open up with Houston opening day on Monday. Watch out.
That was exactly where that ball was called. Cueto throws more changeups to left-handed batters, so we'll see later on in the sequence if he goes out there.
And that's off the mask of Hernandez. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I hope folks know that they could take advantage of those half-price nights. And the first of the season is coming up on Wednesday, a week from tonight against Houston. Trying to climb the ladder there with Colby Rasmus, and a half-price night. To put it in perspective, family of 4 can head to the ballpark for as low as $33, and that'll be next Wednesday, April 14th, against the Astros. And that's a little bit low.
On that backdoor slider, fastballs, they've been trying to elevate them.
3-2 the count. Colby Rasmus, pair of walks tonight.
That is great to see young players walk.
And Rasmus, you like to see that too, as he drives it down the right field line. Extra bases for the 23-year-old. Standing up into second base.
Dan, you know that he's seeing the ball well because he's taking those walks, but there he gets a pitch to his liking, and he knows how to turn on that pitch.
Now, with 2 strikes a year ago, we would have seen him chase that pitch that was up where they tried to climb the ladder. And this is our Exmo Cam, presented by Plaza Tire Service.
And there you see that nice swing as he has to throw a strike. He's disciplined at the plate. He gets that pitch and then he turns on it. Adds to his 500 batting average. It's hitting now 600. It won't last, but still nice.
Here's Ludwig with an RBI base hit that came with 2 outs in the 3rd, and he bounces that one foul. At least you want to see him be able to advance Rasmus to 3rd with nobody out. And there's activity now for the Reds in their bullpen.
Andrusek, you saw him make his major league debut in game 1. Very successful inning as the right-hander warming up.
And here comes an 0-1 pitch to Ludwig, showing bunt. A little surprising to see that, huh?
Yes.
We're not accustomed to seeing Ludwig do something like that.
Pitcher's dream. See a power guy, an RBI man, give himself up and make an out. And Tony goes, I got you out there to drive that man in, not push him over.
Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, when Rasmus's bat, a lot of the pitches were up, but that was by design. And when a pitcher starts losing their legs, and that's what goes first, they start elevating the ball. He just slipped on that one.
That was pitch number 100 for Cueto.
Dusty, hopefully he doesn't have to go to that pin in the middle of the inning. See that 57% of his pitches tonight have been fastballs. Used to be taught that you had to throw 70-75% fastballs to maintain your velocity. But rarely will you ever see a pitcher today throw that many fastballs.
I know you'd like to see guys throw more fastballs. It's something you did all the time.
If they can spot them, you know. You can turn your fastball into more than one pitch by little fingertip pressure, but also having the ability to locate it on both sides of the plate and up and down.
Cueto had Ludwig at 0-2. Now the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hit to Roland, and Rasmus still will advance from second to third as Roland gets the out.
That's good speed and just, you know, wanting to take that extra base, watching the defense.
Now Ludwig, you got to wonder if Tony La Russa may say something about that bunt as he heads back into the dugout. Still winds up being a productive out.
He advanced the runner, but ball hit hard to Scott Rowland. So watch Rasmus. He has to retreat, but he really didn't look him back. And so once that ball left Scott Rowland's hands, Rasmus just scooted over there.
But we've talked about it a number of times. You like Molina in this spot because he'll put the ball in play. A lot of times you'll just guide it to the outfield to get you that sacrifice fly. Infield is drawn in here.
Molina also, you know, has that ability to drop down a bunt if you wish to do so. But I think that Tony has great confidence, especially with the infield in, to just let him swing away and drive the runner in himself.
And he is hit by the pitch. So Molina is hit, and it brings in David Freese.
You're not happy about that.
Now you set up the potential for a double play.
Well, I mean, that's why, you know, he stepped off to see if the bunt was on or something like that, and then he goes up and in, and you know, Molina also is mad because he thinks he's got a nice RBI opportunity and he's going to take advantage of it, and then you get plunked.
By the way, as we have time here, Al, a friend of ours, we just get word that Keith Tkachuk has announced his retirement.
Oh, great career, and what a class act, and we wish it would go on for him and his family, but if he calls it quits, he knows best.
And I believe that Friday will be the last chance for Blues fans to see him, but what a good guy, and
yeah,
congratulations to Keith Tkachuk on what I think is a Hall of Fame career.
No doubt about it, and just a really good guy.
So here's Freese, and he'll take a ball.
And this is one of these situations where Andrusek, you know, being a rookie, it's only got one one major league appearance under his belt. Probably don't want to bring him in the middle of an inning.
Popped up. Is it playable? Near the Cardinal dugout, Roman is there. Molina is halfway between first and second, and nobody is at the bag at first, but he'll retreat. Big out there. So how about that? Keith Tkachuk announces his retirement. Catcher is Hernandez. I'm not sure if he's yelling in the Cardinal dugout.
I'm sure something was said when he and Scott Rowland were over near the dugout. Something was said from the bench, and not to his liking, but it's only the first of many. Now Cooper trying to say, hey, you know, just cool your jets. I don't know if Tony's voice would carry that far.
Yeah, if anybody tuned into the pregame show, you heard his raspy voice, and it sounds like he's got a pretty good cold that's come on. So 2 outs, runners at first and third as we play here in the 6th.
Apparently Tony's voice carries far enough. As we all know, that Molina is one of his favorites.
You got to wonder if it was Tony who may have been upset with Molina getting hit by a pitch and something was said. You don't know.
I don't think there's any question.
I'm just throwing it out there, Al. You never know. Here's Wainwright. And a little chopper that's pulled foul.
Sure, David Freese kind of kicking himself that had that opportunity. And he has had 2 key RBI situations and come through prior to this inning. You know, one on opening day and driving in the first run and then doing the same thing back here in the second.
A foul tip. Strike 2.
David looked like he was trying to hit the sacrifice fly and just got a little uppercut happy and popped it up where Rowland can make the play. See if Wainwright can't help his own cause.
And that is in the dirt. One ball, 2 strikes on Adam Wainwright. Wainwright tonight struck out in the second. He's also flied out to right. Cueto is due up first for the Reds. They're half of the 6th, so this will be it for him. Consistently, that has not been called a strike for either side tonight. That
it wasn't a strike.
Outside portion of the plate as some of the fans boo the home plate umpire.
Sure, Fox Tracks would confirm that it wasn't a strike.
And it does say that it's outside.
Looked like it was up and away.
Pitch number 108 from Cueto. A grounder, backhanded by Rowland. Gets up, throws. Oh, what a play. He is something else. Scott Rowland over there at third base. Look at this. Outstanding. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Lumiere Casino. Lumiere Palace Casino is giving away $10. Go to Lumiere Casino the day after the Cardinals play. And by AT&T. AT&T, a better 3G experience. Also want to thank Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers for helping us once again in Blues hockey and significantly here in Cardinals baseball. In 2010. Those two must be listening to us.
It's Chris Dickerson.
He started in center field on opening day.
Right. He'll be the pinch hitter for Cueto.
Dickerson, a 27-year-old from Hollywood, 16th round pick in 2003. I talked to Jose Oquendo about Dickerson's arm, and he said it's a plus arm. And you might remember Dickerson shifted in opening day, Al, from center field to left, and Pujols,
strong throw.
Yeah, and Pujols did not have a great jump at second base, but he still sent him. And he said, Dan, it simply comes down to this. Let's see if they can make the play. And if they do, then we'll make the adjustment.
Execution. In that case, Scott Rowland cut off the ball, and they didn't get the runner going from second to third, and Pujols scored easily. So how about Wainwright? 55 pitches thrown tonight. Cueto's already out of this ball game, well over 100, and Wainwright still looks strong as can be.
0-2 is the count here on Dickerson. I thought it was interesting in talking with Jose. I said, all right, give me one guy that you know you probably won't run against. And he said the guy that he really likes, he said, because not only does he have a strong arm, but accurate and quick, he said, is Jeff Francoeur of the Mets. And we've seen that time and again. He's got a cannon in right field.
But many times a fielder, if he's extremely aggressive, charges the ball well, comes up cleanly throwing, that'll stop the runner from advancing.
And he said that too.
I mean, but the guy that lays back, even if he's got a good arm, you always send him.
It's a great point, Al. I mean, he pointed out, he said there's just some guys you watch on how a ball is hit and how smooth and cleanly they get into their crow hop. And then he said there's also a big difference on certain outfielders how long they are in trying to get rid of it, meaning their motion towards the plate.
Remember Mark Whitten?
Sure.
Had the reputation of being a great thrower. But end of his career, everyone ran on him because he took it for granted no one was going to. And they were all successful.
It's 4 strikeouts for Wainwright tonight. Dickerson retired. Cueto out of the game. Top of the lineup, and this is Drew Stubbs.
These Reds are getting a pretty good look at the best the National League pitchers have to offer when you see Carpenter and Wainwright.
And that's a strike at the knees to Stubbs.
Chris had the one inning where he missed location, got a couple balls up. They got hit out of the ballpark. But you saw him, just get it back.
Now, you mentioned it earlier, spring training. For guys that have been around a long time, and Carpenter and Wainwright did not have great springs, you just don't put a lot into it.
No.
I mean, these guys come out and you watch them tonight and on opening day, and it looks like 2 different players.
Well, the one thing about them is as long as they're physically sound, you know what they have to do. Both of them have great work ethic. You go out there, you give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the results weren't the best, or they had one real dominant performance out of their 5 spring training starts, but they were building to get to the start of the season. And if a veteran guy like Carpenter tells you I'm ready for opening day, you take his word for it. And that's kind of what Franklin's trying to say too. I've been around for 17 springs. I know what to look forward to.
And there's a walk, the second issued by Wainwright. So here's what we're talking about. This season, Chris Carpenter in spring, ERA over 5, Monday 6 innings, dominant. And there you see tonight for Wainwright, 4 strikeouts with an ERA in spring over 6.
Like 0-2, 6-point ERA, but he was ready. And Carpenter gave up 2 runs. They went 2 solo home runs, but after that he regrouped, went back and threw a couple zeros.
Here's Orlando Cabrera showing bunt and takes a ball outside. We used to see this guy in Montreal and comment at the time, this is one of the better players that you would never hear about or see because he was playing in Montreal.
Right. He kind of a non-flashy guy that did make all the plays, contributed offensively, just wasn't a power guy.
Very durable. He's played 161 and 160 the last 2 years. And you think about Walt Jocketty trying to get experience with this team for some of the young players while also experience in postseason play. Cabrera has played in 5 of the last 6 postseasons. One is hammered down the left field line, but foul as Stubbs was off with the pitch. And we saw his speed as he came in midway in that game, part of a double switch in opening day, and was 2 for 2.
And last season when he was playing AAA, Stubbs, he was tied for the International League lead with 46 steals. Also had 25 doubles. And then he came up here and hit a few home runs. So he's another player they're very excited about.
And a guy that can neutralize the speed of an opposing team is Molina, as he already caught Brandon Phillips trying to steal back in the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. The check on Stubbs.
Wainwright is an exceptional athlete. And usually when you see someone 6'5" and above, and he's 6'7", they usually are slow of foot. But that's not the case with Adam. And he really does give Molina a good shot to get him out. This is the throw to first.
He had 56 errorless chances last year and winning the Gold Glove.
Yeah, but 56 were the most in the National League.
And you think about his athleticism, that means what he does at the plate too. He was a pinch hitter 6 times last year for Tony La Russa.
Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. Curveball.
Let's see if he can't get a double play. 1-1 pitch. There's the curveball taken for a ball. Votto on deck.
Oh, that's the pitch. You throw over a couple times like that, and you get that base runner to shorten up his lead, get him question whether you're going to come over there, and then he gets frustrated because he gets the pitch he wants to steal on and he doesn't go. The curveball.
And the runner goes on a 2-1 pitch. Pulled foul.
That was a roller up there.
Last year was Paul Giannis who finished up the year at shortstop for Cincinnati after the trade of Alex Gonzalez. And Walt may sign this kid.
He's a little lazy to me. He didn't get out of his chair.
Looked like he only did it with 1 hand too. No,
oh, yeah.
2 hands. Get him out of here.
Fastball. Looks like I see it's going to be in.
2-2 pitch. Here it comes. In the air, left field. Holiday back. He'll look up, and this ball is gone. We're tied up 2-2. Orlando Cabrera, his first home run this season.
Cabrera hit .282, 9 home runs between Oakland and Minnesota a year ago, and he gets his first here. Just turned on that ball. Boy, this it's way inside, pulls his hands in and just hits it with authority. And if you connect and he centered it, you got the short part of the field. Just a line drive that carried out.
Now Votto, brand new game, tied up at 2-2. It's only the 3rd hit for the Reds tonight.
But a crooked number is the home run follows the second base on balls, and we're tied.
Votto is struck out after he was ahead in the count. 3 balls and a strike. That was back in the 4th. He's also flied out to center. And pitch number 20 of the inning. Taken in the dirt. So here we go again on a 3-1 count with Votto.
We talked about the key to pitching, and what makes Carpenter and Wainwright so good is they usually walk very few and keep it in the ballpark.
And in this inning, his 2nd walk, and then gave up the home run. 3-2 on Joey Votto.
But this ballpark, anytime you miss location, Votto's a different story. He's gonna not miss many mistakes, but everyone becomes so dangerous because the ball flies out of here.
In the air, Holiday near the line, over, runs out of room as they fight for that souvenir. Three and two on Votto. Phillips on deck.
Didn't want the fastball in, didn't want the curveball, didn't want the changeup. Now we go back to a changeup.
Spoiled by Votto. Tell you what, the ballpark
He's
filled up. Yeah. Opening night is a hit in Cincinnati. Tuxedos and all.
2-2. We'll do it again. There's the curveball.
Ground ball. Schumacher gobbles it up. 2 away. And Votto is 0 for 3. Let's take a look at our What's on Tap, presented by Budweiser, the great American lager. On the air tomorrow at 11 in the morning. Cards and Reds, game 3 of this series. We'll see Bronson Arroyo went 15 and 13 last year. Brad Penny 11 and 9. Of course, Penny very good down the stretch with San Francisco. And Arroyo getting the start for the Reds. Here's Phillips. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a caught stealing back in the second. Also flied out to right. If he can extend the inning, Scott Rowland would hit. Cabrera's tied it up at 2-2 with a 2-run shot.
Phillips has developed into a very good offensive weapon. As 3 consecutive seasons he's been a 20-20 man.
Milwaukee won today 5-4 this afternoon over Colorado. It's popped up. Edmonds was in that game in right field, and a lot of talk that Corey Hart could be on his way out of Milwaukee with the emergence of Jim Edmonds.
Well, Jim started game 1 of that series, and he started game 3 both times in right field, as Corey Hart had a very bad spring, hit under 200, and then defeated Milwaukee in arbitration. Fastball in.
The 1-2. He got him. Caught him looking. 2 strikeouts in the inning, and 5 on the night for Adam Wainwright. Top of the lineup coming up. It's 2-2. Results of our text poll presented by U.S. Cellular, who will finish with more wins, and the folks at home go with Wainwright, 57%. Thanks for all of you that decided to text in. Our call to the bullpen presented by Chevrolet. Daniel Ray Herrera, 25-year-old. He is 5'6", 165 pounds, and he'll come in to face Skip Schumacher. And then after that, who knows? Ryan and Pujols to follow.
He was very reliable last year with 70 appearances. Ended up with an ERA just at 3.06.
He was part of the deal with Edison Volquez as he came over from Texas. And there's a base hit for Schumacher, his first of the season.
And good to see it off a left-handed pitcher, and good to see it that line drive to the opposite field.
It's back. It's the Hyundai long drive inning. Your chance to win an all-new 2011 Hyundai Sonata, coming soon to your local Hyundai dealers. Stay tuned for details. And Dusty Baker out to make a move as Herrera gives up the base hit to Skip Schumacher. Herrera last year made 70 appearances. New pitcher coming in to face Brendan Ryan. We show the split screen there of Joe Mather on the left and Brendan Ryan on the right. Ryan due up, and he went right over to Mather to ask him about the new pitcher, Logan Andrusik. Big guy, 6'8", 225 pounds, and he is part of our Chevy call to the pen, and we saw him make his major league debut on Monday afternoon.
Did not allow a run in 7 spring training outings, covering 10 innings. He was 4-1, 1.50 ERA, 19 saves in 56 appearances from A ball to AAA. So he led all Reds minor leaguers in saves.
Now what's interesting here is to see how Tony wants to play this. You've got Pujols on deck. Do you sacrifice here with nobody out? Without Matt Holliday? Probably not. But you know, this goes back to the theory of putting Brendan Ryan in the 2 spot and dropping Rasmus down to the 5 spot in a traditional RBI spot. So let's see how he wants to play it.
Well, Tony would not have thought about this early last season.
No way.
But he has been on the record that he will do it on occasion now. And right now, I mean, putting Rasmus down an RBI spot has really paid off.
Absolutely. And it's twofold. It's to get him an RBI spot. They like him there also. The back-to-back lefty situation if he was to hit second, and Schumacher's in the lineup.
Andrusik is 6'8", 25 years of age, 225 from Shiner, Texas. Right now you've got to see a strike.
13th round selection in 2005, and he walks Brendan Ryan first and second, and here comes Albert. Arthur Rhodes, the lefty, getting loose.
Aren't you glad you didn't bunt?
Absolutely. So the single allowed by Herrera, and now Andrusik walks Brendan Ryan to bring in Albert Pujols. He was going to try to calm him down out there.
Some of the best advice I ever got, Dan. It was the first time I had a bad game. Afterwards, I went and talked to Billy Muffet, and I said, what do I got to do? And he chewed me out for, he says, that's what's wrong with all you kids. You got here from what you did in the minor leagues. Why don't you just do what, you know, that's all we're asking you to do. You don't need to change anything. Just be yourself. Bump into each other as Hernandez didn't realize that Cooper was right so close as he was.
Chance here for Pujols. 2-2 game. Albert, left center. That ball will get down. The Cardinals have the lead. He delivers again. Schumacher will score. 3-2 Cardinals here in the 7th. He is something else. And even Brandon Phillips, Al, after the game on Monday, who's been around now for quite some time with the Reds, was asked, how do you beat the Cardinals? He said, it's simple. One guy's beating us, and he's been beating us over the years, and it's Albert Pujols, and this is our Hardy's prime cut of the game.
Right off the end of the bat, he breaks his bat, but by breaking it, it guarantees that it doesn't carry all the way and gets down for the RBI single. But once again, Albert always got his head in there. What do you think the pitching coach went out and said? Throw strikes. So what does Albert look for? I look for a strike.
Here's Holliday.
When you throw Albert a strike, he's going to hit it.
Holliday, the seeing eye base hit, a little help, and the stolen base back in the 3rd. He popped out in the 5th and is also grounded into a fielder's choice. First and 3rd. Oh, good rip by Matt Holliday.
Yeah, the Reds are high on their bullpen. A year ago, they finished 3rd in the National League in ERA putting bullpen.
Very good closer, Arthur Rhodes, the guy that can get people out from the left side. Cordero's out there.
But they might have the same problems the Cardinals. You know, Andrusik, this is his 2nd major league game. Saw Massett, who they expected to pick up where he did last year, was very effective at setting up. He gave up 5 runs on opening day. Cardinals have shown a little chink in their armor in the bullpen. by some of the young pitchers, where I know both clubs feel that they can score.
Holiday smokes one into center field. Steps back. He'll look up, and it's off the base of the wall. One run is in. That's Brendan Ryan. They're trying to hold up Pujols, but he says, no way, I'm coming home, and he scores. 2-run score. And the Cardinals lead it 5-2. The RBI double by Matt Holliday.
He smoked that ball, and he hit it so well that it goes right off the base underneath the padding in center field, and so the center fielder had to go chase it. Got away with it on opening day, but not today.
Jose Oquendo is trying to hold up Albert Pujols. Good luck in doing that. The man is possessed. He's scoring runs all the way from first. Ryan would score easily, and here comes Albert. Cardinals lead it by 3. Not too late to get a 2010 season ticket plan. Choose from full season, 40-game or 27-game plans, and each plan includes a hefty discount off the gate price, plus lots of additional perks. For details, visit Cardinals.com today. Sure, one of the things that Dusty Baker will be asked about, Al, is that you have a veteran in Arthur Rhodes that you could have started the inning with, and you say that because Andrusik only made his major league debut on Monday, and you know you're facing Pujols and Holiday in that spot. Ryan, you could have started Rhodes and let him stay in the game, a veteran that could handle maybe guys from the right side.
He's getting up there in age, but he was still awfully. Oh, look at this.
Beautiful bunt by Rasmus, and he's retired, but advancing on the play is Holiday, but it did start with Herrera, the lefty, and then Andrusik came in with a walk, a single, and then the double.
And that's why Albert ran through the stop sign, you know, as Oquendo holding him up because nobody were out there. But Kobe does the little things there, making the sacrifice off a very tough left-hander. Arthur's making his 781st career appearance.
Brings in Ludwig, had a 2-out RBI back in the third. That scored Holiday.
Pull the infield in.
Ludwig tonight has popped out to first, RBI base hit in the third, and grounded out to third on a fine play by Scott Rowland.
And I think that in Dusty's defense, or not only not his defense, but I would think that he had no problem bringing in Herrera. But you can question you bring Andrusik,
yeah,
who made only one major league appearance, when we just talked about how their bullpen last year was third best in the National League. Massett, who was a very steady guy, gave up 5 runs. Lincoln gave up a couple. Guys that he relied on a year ago.
And I guess what you're saying is, why put one of their young players with not much major league experience, with the exception of one game, in a situation late, 7th inning, facing some of the biggest bats in baseball. 2-1 pitch.
You know, that's the beauty of baseball, Dan. If you could guarantee that every rookie you use would have 10 good outings to build a little background, because you know at some point they're going to fail. But now Andrusik is questioning whether, you know, he has to sit there and say, okay, you know, all right, what do I have to do differently?
And Ludwig, a swing and a miss. So he strikes out. First strikeout for Rhodes, and he's gotten 2 quick outs. Here's Molina, who's hit by a pitch last inning. He's flied to right and also singled back in the 2nd inning. Big gap out there in left center.
Well, they're more than likely going to pitch him away.
And there's a pitch on the outside corner, but called a ball.
And you're pitching to Molina's strength, but it's also, you know, how they want to pitch him away, play him away. And Rhodes still throws hard. Off-speed pitch there.
Seeing more and more players going to a mouth guard, and Molina is doing that this season. The 1-1 pitch.
Most of the time that's to relax you, because a lot of times a guy, grits his teeth there, grinds and everything, and it tenses your body by having that mouth guard. And that's when they originally started athletes using them before. It's a lot of times just to relax the body.
And that's in the dirt. Roger Clemens would do that sometimes warming up. He'd get so intense, and he'd have a mouth guard in. You see it in football, you see it in hockey and contact sports, but certainly not in baseball. 3-1, 2 outs and a runner at third. And a walk to Yadier Molina. But once again, David Freese, and it seems like every time he's been coming up, whether it was Monday or again tonight, he's had a chance to do some damage.
He came through on Monday, and he came through the first at bat with an RBI single. Didn't end the sixth, but he's gotten off to a great start. And a few RBIs here and there from that eighth hole. Boy, that can really pick up your team, especially if you can do it with 2 outs.
Arthur Rhodes has that nasty disposition. Looked like he was having words with the home plate umpire. But a couple of those calls to Molina. So 2 outs, 2 on, and a 3-run Cardinals lead here in the 7th. And that pitch taken for a ball in. They set up inside on Freese. 1 ball, 1 strike. This inning started with a score of 2-2, and the Cardinals have picked up 3. RBI base hit by Pujols to make it 3-2. RBI double by Holiday to drive in 2. The Cardinals answer after the home run by Cabrera, but tied it up. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Arthur Rhodes now is 40 years of age.
Cardinals had interest in him a couple of years ago. Freese breaks his bat. That'll get down for a base hit. And the Cardinals lead it 6-2. A broken bat by David Freese and a base hit. And he picks up his 2nd RBI.
You trade a bat for an RBI base hit right now. And now Cardinals have had their 4th run this inning, make it a 6-2 ball game, and Adam comes up. Long inning like this is always good to get your adrenaline going by getting in that batter's box.
Well, the Cardinals score 6. You score 25-cent drinks at On the Run, and we have a lead of 6-2. On the Run will be busy tomorrow. So 2 outs, runners at first and second for Adam Wainwright. 4 runs here in the 7th inning. It'll be interesting to see how long Tony wants to stick with Wainwright. The 4-run lead. I think the first month of the season, the Cardinals might be a little overly cautious with him just because of the innings and pitches that he threw last year. Most pitches thrown in the National League. And if you get a big lead, there's really no reason to press him.
Well, right now, I feel a lot more comfortable if he throws up a 0 in the 7th inning. Then I'll be one to tell you. And you see Dave Duncan and Tony probably conferring about this.
It's turned into a fairly cool night now.
Well, that helps you.
Yep. A swing and a miss for strike 2.
Tomorrow the high is going to be about 57 degrees.
A 1-2 pitch to Adam Wainwright. 2-2. You know, Rhodes can still get it up there from the left side at 92, 93 miles an hour.
Absolutely. Been doing it for a long time and very successful. Mike Lincoln now is warming up for the Reds.
And a called third strike on Wainwright. Strikes out for the second time. The Cardinals, though, big inning. They pick up 4 and pick up the.
His development has been really spectacular. And the best example is 06. I mean, we were going to do the thing where you put him in the bullpen, kind of get his feet wet, and after a month, hey, this guy can handle late in the game, and all of a sudden you need a closer, and this guy's closing. And he's got that ability to rise to the occasion in a tough situation. He keeps himself together. He makes pitches. Some guys are better than others, and he has that, which tells you he's a terrific competitor. He has a lot to compete with. So, I mean, he's still got another ceiling, another level or two he can get to because he wants it.
Tony La Russa on Adam Wainwright, our starter tonight. Went 19-8 a year ago. Roland greets him with a line drive to center. 1 pitch, 1 away. 233 innings for Wainwright. And you have to go back to 2003, and that's a trade that has worked out wonderfully well for the Cardinals. And they picked up Ray King, Jason Marquis, and Adam Wainwright for J.D. Drew and Eli Morero. And I'm sure that's one that John Sherholtz says, I wish I had that one back.
Well, I remember at the time we talked to Sherholtz, and he said it looks like a good trade for both sides. And he says, well, wait and see if I don't retain him. If I can't sign J.D. Drew, which was the case, it looks pretty lopsided. Hopefully this is going to be a real efficient inning for Adam. Well on his way.
3 pitches and 2 outs. Brendan Ryan there, 2 away.
You know, that is something in today's baseball. I mean, he's only at 86 pitches or 85 pitches, but you know, hitters really got to kind of pay attention to that and make a guy work, especially after he gave up a couple runs in the 6th inning. Make him work this inning and hopefully get him out of there. From their standpoint, Cardinal fans are saying keep him right where he is.
There's Johnny Gomes. Twice he has struck out 0 for 2. The first pitch popped foul and out of play.
I got a question for you, Dan.
Yes, sir.
If he can get out of this 7th inning and has got his pitch count like under 90, and you're down to the 8th and 9th spot in the order, would you be tempted to send him back out now that you're worried about all of his innings?
No more. No more, Al. I'm not worried. I'm not looking at pitch counts anymore. Yes, he goes back out there. And you?
I brought it up because I'd be tempted.
Sure. I think we're
first, you ask him, how do you feel? But knowing the mindset of Adam Wainwright, you know,
is that even fair?
You know what the answer is going to be. I mean, so sometimes you can't even ask him.
Why do you even go to these guys and say, well, how do you feel? I mean, if you sit there and say, well, I feel terrible, take me out of the game, I don't want to be out there, you wonder about the heart of the guy. Of course, the player is going to say, you would hope, I feel great, and I want to continue. And that's why a manager many times has to take it out the hands of the player, just make the decision for him.
Sure, but you know, Tony talked about he has the ability to go to another level. And one of the things is what you're talking about right now. He's not begging out of this game. His mindset is still, I'm going to get this out, and then I'm going to prepare myself for the next inning. And it's up to the manager whether he'll allow him to do so. But he's out there thinking he's going to pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Fastball away. Didn't want it. Curveball. You know what they're talking about. You know, it's early, you don't do it, but I think they'll probably err on the side of caution. Part of my equation was if he would have been sitting in the dugout saving about 3 or 4 pitches.
You know, he's only faced 4 over the minimum. He's been pounding the outer half of the strike zone. That's where they set up again.
Keep the ball down. You know, up and away out of the strike zone is an effective pitch, but now you've run the count full. Usually if you keep the ball down, he stays in the ballpark. Fastball, just throw me a strike.
And he got him, tied him up, strikes him out, and that's 6 tonight for Adam Wainwright. We are through 7. Cardinals lead it 6-2. Top of the lineup coming up. .95 pitches for Adam Wainwright. 7 innings, 3 hits, couple of runs. Those were earned on the home run by Cabrera. Walked 2 and struck out 6.
Watch the location. Only 1 pitch to Johnny Gomes was on the inner part of the plate. Everything out and away and away. This will be the strikeout pitch, and we'll mark where it was, where he just challenged him up and in, kind of tied him up. And Adam is through for the night, and what a job he does. And I think, you know, if you think about Cabrera's home run, that was on kind of the inside part of the plate, and he turned on it. So it looked like he was going to make sure he didn't have that cheap home run again.
I think that's what they were talking about right there. You know, the pitch going inside.
Right, because it was way inside off the plate, according to Fox Tracks, and he kind of just pulled the bat in and got good wood on it. And it's a short field when you do that, hitting to left. So he made sure he stayed away.
One of the real key at bats tonight, Skip Schumacher, as that hit is taken away by Votto. But you go back to the 7th, and Herrera, the lefty, came in to face Skip Schumacher. Lefty-lefty matchup, and he picked up the base hit and then came around to score. Really a good at bat by Skip. And here's Brendan Ryan.
There's been some, you know, guys are out there battling. They're competing. Massett, who's on the mound now, who got roughed up. 5 runs, including the grand slam by Molina on opening day. He was very reliable last season.
Out of St. Petersburg, Florida. 27 years of age, 6'4", 235.
And right-handed batters only hit 194 against him.
.1-0 pitch to Brendan Ryan. Albert Pujols on deck. Pujols untied it with a single to score Schumacher in the 7th, and then the double by Matt Holliday. Freeze added an RBI. The numbers for Massett a year ago, very good numbers. 5-1 with a 2.37 ERA with all those appearances.
Yeah, just saw the 70 strikeouts, and he can throw hard, but we noted that there was, you know, he didn't have much of a breaking ball in opening day, and they could go up there just looking for the fastball. You have the fastball, but you got to locate it. You got to have some movement on it.
We saw that Wainwright's night is through, so Tony La Russa will have to go to his pen, and that breaking ball is taken in the dirt, and Kyle McClellan is getting loose. You wonder about roles. initially the bullpen, I know you're not a big fan of saying, okay, this guy's the 8th inning and that guy's the 7th inning and here's your closer, but you got to get to your closer. And right now, Tony La Russa, it looks like the indication would be that the 8th inning would be Kyle McClellan.
Well, and I think Ryan reverted back to last year and gets himself out, expand the zone. And I think it may work out good for Tony. McClellan goes 2 innings.
Cardinals fans, we want to give you a programming note about Friday's game at Milwaukee. On Friday, Fox Sports Midwest will again televise both the Cardinals game and the Blues game. And on many video providers, you'll be able to watch both games. Go to foxsportsmidwest.com for channel listings. And again, Keith Tkachuk has announced his retirement. And you can see that game on Friday exclusively on Fox Sports Midwest. Your final time to get a look at Big Walt. Class act. 0-1 pitch to Albert. A check swing and a strike. They say he went, and Albert wanted to hold up and at least check it, and that's not the case. Nothing in 2.
81-mile-an-hour breaking ball that bounced well in front of the plate.
Pujols was called out on strikes in the 3rd. He walked in the 1st. Flied out to left in the 5th, and an RBI single in the 7th. Here's an 0-2 pitch. And Pujols, a swing and a miss. Strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. Bottom of the 8th rolls in. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. By AT&T Uverse, a better TV experience. Visit AT&T.com for details. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. The Cardinals have left 9 on, but they lead it 6-2 as we move to the bottom of the 8th. Our attendance tonight from the Great American Ballpark, 28,312. And the new pitcher for St. Louis, the St. Louisan, Kyle McClellan.
3rd opening day time he's been on the roster, 66 appearances. Very reliable. You could use the option of having him pitch 2 innings.
Well, certainly he's conditioned for that, no doubt.
No doubt, but you feel like you can afford to have him miss 1 or 2 days. That's new to me. When you talk about relievers and they pitch an inning or 2 and you can't use them for a couple days, that's tough. That's why you got to carry so many pitchers today.
Lance Nix has moved to the on-deck circle. He started opening day for Dusty Baker's club. There's the curveball, and Hernandez just got a piece. As we noted on opening day, McClellan is a guy that really doesn't matter, the righty or the lefty that's up there. He matches up very well on either side, and has turned into a valuable piece to the bullpen for the Cardinals.
Lefties only hit 198 against him last year with 1 home run, backing up your statement.
2-2 the count. Cincinnati with only 3 base hits. And in talking with Dusty Baker, one of his concerns, he said coming out of spring training, can we score enough runs? Can we hit? We think we're going to be okay pitching wise, but can we hit? And tonight they have not against Adam Wainwright. And now Kyle McClellan.
And I'm sure Dusty would pay Adam Wainwright a nice compliment and saying, well, we don't expect to get a lot of runs when Wainwright's pitching. He did remark they scored enough runs on Monday to normally win that game, but the Cardinals doubled them up.
3-2 pitch, a liner into left center field. That'll go past Colby Rasmussen to the wall, and Hernandez will stop at second base. So leadoff double. Let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jim.
Dan, coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Cardinals Live, Pat Paris, Rick Horton are standing by back in the studio. Big night for Adam Wainwright. They'll break down his evening. A red-hot start for David Freese. They'll look at what David is doing right. Plus, we'll have post-game reaction from Tony La Russa and players inside the Cardinal clubhouse. It's all coming up after the ball game. For now, it's back to the booth and Dan and Al. Guys.
All right, Jim, thanks. And here's Lance Nix.
Nix, for the second consecutive season, has made the team as a non-roster player, invitee to camp.
Remember last year, first half, a couple of games against the Cardinals, and he put up monster numbers.
Yes. And then a couple games in St. Louis.
Good numbers against the Cardinals, 15 RBIs in 13 games. 1 ball, 1 strike. One thing about McClellan, he is very aggressive, doesn't walk a lot of folks. And he's learned to grow and evolve in these pressure situations. A rising fastball that time at 91.
Well, it helps to have the weapons that he possesses. And now, you know, in his 3rd year, very comfortable, doesn't panic when, you know, leadoff double happens.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, got him. Called 3rd strike, and Nix is retired.
Well, look at all these pitches. According to Fox Tracks, they're all out of the strike zone, but Eric Cooper saw it a different way. It helps if you can pitch that way.
Here's Stubbs. Another one of their young players, high draft choice back in 2006. When you watch McClellan, and I'm not saying this year, Al, but do you see a guy that could be a future closer in your mind with all the assortment of pitches that he has?
Well, you don't need that many pitches. You know, if you have 2 good pitches, that's all you need, you know. But there are certain days that you may not have that good curveball, so you can go to the cutter. You know, he learned as a starter he'd go to rely on his changeup more.
Takes guts too.
Of course, you know, Bob Gibson was a 2-pitch pitcher, but he had 2 exceptional pitches.
2-1 the count. Stubbs has walked and scored. He's also grounded out twice to 3rd. Denny's Reyes getting loose, and Votto, you got to figure that he's getting loose for him as Cabrera is on deck.
You might see 2 or 3 guys used in the 9th inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Kyle McClellan. And that's his second back-to-back.
I'm not letting it get to Votto this inning.
Look at that great movement.
But you see that running movement, you know, and just runs in, attacks the hitter.
So here's Cabrera. 2-run homer back in the 6th. That was allowed by Wainwright, and the first pitch is strike. And after allowing a leadoff double to Hernandez, McClellan has gotten back-to-back strikeouts. And a little chopper past Freese, a fair ball. 3 RBIs on the night for Cabrera. He'll change spots with Hernandez. That cuts a lead to 6-3.
David well off the line. Gets over there, dives, reactionary position. All you have time for is a step and a dive. Comes up empty on it, and Cabrera's having a pretty good night. A 2-run home run, now an RBI double, and we are going to see Mr. Reyes face Joey Votto.
So Denny's Reyes, the former Red, will come in. He'll face Votto with the Cardinals leading 6-3. Two outs, runner at second base, and it's 6-3. St. Louis with the lead. 32-year-old Denny's Reyes pitched for the Reds from 1998 through 2001. See his numbers from last year. 75 appearances. And he's coming off a superb spring. Allowed just 1 earned run in 11 outings. That led the club. .84 ERA. And he picked up the team's first hold of the season. A strikeout on opening day. He gets Votto here, who's 0 for 3.
Get a little worried when Votto's 0 for 3.
Runner goes from second. No chance for Molina. And that's Cabrera, as Reyes never even paid attention to him.
One of the things when you come into a ball game as a reliever, you got to check those bases.
A wild pitch could make it 6-4. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Phillips on deck.
Votto had a very slow start to spring training, and then he tore it up, hitting over 700 with 3 2-hit games and 3 2-hit games. 3 3-hit games and 2 2-hit games.
You can see right there he's upset with himself. Guessed wrong, and it's now 1-2.
He was 13 for his last 18.
And a swing and a miss, and Denny's Reyes strikes out Votto to send us to the ninth. Matt Holliday leads it off when we come back. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 34-year-old Francisco Cordero, 6'3", 240-pounder, a hard thrower, and a very good closer, is in for Cincinnati. He was an all-star last year, and over the last 2 years, he's recorded 73 of the Reds' bullpen's 75 saves.
He has 250 career saves, and he has at least 100 saves in each league, becoming the 11th pitcher in history to do that.
And that is back to Cordero. Gloves and throws to make the play. Well, he's now in the top 30 all-time in saves in baseball history.
He's 28th spot. He had 39 saves to rank second in the National League last year.
He's an all-star while he was with Texas a couple of times, and then Milwaukee and Cincinnati.
Right.
There's Colby Rasmus. And Colby has been on base 3 times, pair of walks and a double.
You don't mind seeing him when you're leading by 3.
Not at all. And Dusty Baker is saying we got to get our closer some work. Now the question for Tony La Russa is going to his bullpen. Do you mix and match? Do you go with Franklin?
I go with Franklin.
You got to show confidence in him, don't you, Al?
You have to go to him. He's your closer. Had a day in between starts, and he's the one that says, I haven't lost any confidence. Give me the ball. It's a save situation, and I'll get the adrenaline going.
At the knees to Rasmus, 2 balls and 1 strike.
strike zone's kind of been all over the place.
Sure has.
That one looked like it was down below the knees.
Well, we forget that Colby is only 23, Al. And there's another base hit. That's probably because he was listed as the Cardinals' best prospect in 07, 08, 09. And, you know, you're thinking, okay, this guy's going to make his debut. Maybe he's a 21-year-old. He thought he made the club. That wasn't the case. And then last year finally did. And now has asserted himself as the everyday center fielder.
Out there, his arms extended out there, riveted on the point of contact. Perfect night. 2 walks, 2 hits, and a sacrifice.
Now Ludwig. Ludwig has had some odd at-bats tonight, hasn't he?
Yes. He sometimes can get into a funk and really swings at pitches that, you know, I'm sure he questions after he sees the location, but we also know that next time up he can do something to electrify you.
And this swing and a miss. That's Marty Mason there on the left. That's the bullpen coach of the Cardinals.
Marty Mason will be a major league pitching coach sometime.
He really works hard on the mechanics with all the pitchers, not just the bullpen guys, but the starters. And then you think about Dave Duncan, a lot of his input is done on game plans and looking at films and what he keeps in that big book is.
Right. I mean, Dave has the supreme confidence in Marty Mason. And Marty has total control over the relievers. And then you say he's an integral part even with the starters as Dave prepares you. But mechanical aspect of pitching is really, you know, Marty's relies more, or all the pitchers rely on Marty for that. One of the things that I think they're talking about arm angle and get out there, reach, pull down, because, you know, we talked about on Monday how
Runner goes from first, swing and a miss, and a stolen base for Rasmus.
you know, not a lot of ground balls off of Franklin right now.
And he is done warming up. He's loose, and he'll come in the bottom of the ninth. Will it be 6-3? Here's a 2-2 pitch to Ludwig. And waves at it and strikes out. So Ludwig, who had a 2-out RBI base hit back in the third, strikes out for the second consecutive time. And with 2 outs, the hitter will be Molina. As a team, the Cardinals have struck out 8 times tonight, but they have 10 base hits. Big gap once again in left center field for Yadier Molina. And you might remember he would kiss his necklace before he steps in the box, remembering his father. And it's a glove with a baseball on that necklace that his father gave to him, and his dad passed away. That's the pitch that normally he'll go to right with.
95, he didn't quite catch up to it, but you don't throw too many fastballs by Molina.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Molina serves it to right, but out of play. Cardinals will play a day game tomorrow on the air St. Louis time at 11 o'clock a.m. and then we head to Milwaukee. In the air, right field. This ball is slicing and foul. Not by much as Bruce gave chase.
Kind of beyond our sight lines, but you can see how little foul territory there is. Tomahawks this ball down the right field corner. That ball right up against the fence, and you can see Jay Bruce tippy-toeing for a good reason.
2-2.
Atlanta defeats the Cubs 3-2. They had a late. Cubbies had a late lead in that one. Moreland, a reliever, gets the win.
Two. Molina grounds it to Phillips, and that sends us to the bottom of the ninth. Cardinals with a 3-run lead. Ryan Franklin, the All-Star from a year ago, coming in. Six 10-0 for the Cardinals, 3-5-0 for the Reds. Bottom of the ninth rolls in. Our Budweiser, great player of the game, Adam Wainwright, 95 pitches. He goes 7 innings, 3 hits allowed. One of those was a 2-run homer. And he strikes out 6. Very effective from the opening pitch.
Well, he just went out there and attacked. He was on a mission. The National League's biggest winner a year ago is off to the good start. And he is, and Carpenter have both dominated the Central Division. And hopefully Franklin will pick up his first save to allow Wainwright to have his first win.
Ryan Franklin in his 4th season with the Cardinals. The 37-year-old had 38 saves a year ago and a 1.92 ERA. That was second best among closers.
Well, you forget about how great he was in the first half. Prior to the All-Star break, his ERA was .79.
And he'll get Phillips to start. On the ground. Nice play, Brendan Ryan. Boy, he's smooth.
Or without Brendan Ryan, those plays like that are base hits. And he has that ability, a hard hit ball in the hole, great range, but he can circle it, playing a little deep, and has that ability to throw on the run with something on it.
You'd have to consider him as a guy that will be in that conversation for the Gold Glove this year at short.
In my mind, he played the best defensive second or shortstop in the National League. He hit well enough also, but he's got to do it another year. And hopefully it'll be this year he'll get recognized for that Gold Glove.
And speaking of Gold Gloves, this guy won 7 of them. Scott Rowland. And he looks at his strikes. A good start here for Franklin. No balls, 2 strikes.
And the important thing for me to look for Franklin is ground balls. When you throw ground balls, there's going to be a portion of them that are going to go through. But you always have the potential to have it erased with a double play.
You see Scotty is 5 for 8. Yadier Molina doing his best Tony Pena behind the plate.
I noticed that earlier.
The last time he did it, he got a called strike.
Well, it's easy to keep the ball down when you get that target. The catcher with one almost in a split.
Nice block too.
One thing you don't want to do that when you have 2 strikes, and especially when you're calling a breaking ball, because if you're stretched out that way and the ball gets by you, it could be one of those check swings and the guy gets on first base and you can't recover.
2-2 the count. Rowland has walked. He is grounded out to short and then lined out to center. Hit it on the button last time up in the 7th. The 2-2. In on his hands and a foul ball just below us.
First time I ever seen you not duck.
Knew it all the way, partner.
You had a good angle on it. You could say it was too low.
You were ducking.
No, I was going to save you.
I've seen you do that before.
Did you knock me over?
The 2-2. And Franklin can't find it. Rowland is aboard. And they had him positioned perfectly too. That goes to Schumacher and probably winds up as an out.
Yeah, it looked like it got his leg, maybe his knee. There's such adrenaline flowing. You react, you chase after it, and then it seemed like after he picked it up, his knee buckled a little bit as he realizes, hey, I've been hit. On the foot.
Looked like the right foot.
Yeah. There you see kind of the knee buckled a little bit, but
I don't know if you saw this play in college baseball the other day. Pitcher from Vanderbilt on a comebacker. It shattered his kneecap over the weekend, and he still made the play. I mean, it was an unbelievable play.
You know, that adrenaline, you just really don't feel it until you stop. And then you go, ouch.
And again, unfortunate for Franklin if it goes through. Schumacher was positioned playing up the middle towards the second base bag. He probably makes that play.
Well, Franklin usually is very effective. He's a good athlete. He fields his position well. And as an athlete, you think you're going to make that play.
Now Jay Bruce, who's 0 for 3 in his career against Franklin. And the very good numbers for Rolen against the Cardinal closer continue. His 6th base hit against Franklin in his career.
Like I said, Dan, you know, if he gets ground balls, I'm not concerned, because there'll be a high percentage going to be right at some of you. You know, now he needs a double play ball.
1-0 pitch.
I was concerned when I saw everyone hitting in the air. When Franklin's right. He gets ground ball after ground ball.
Dave Duncan watching intently. In the air out to right. Ludwig makes the catch on the run. Takes the extra base hit away. And instead of having the tying run coming up at the plate, there's now 2 outs and a runner at first as he snares that bullet in right field.
Hit extremely hard, but a good jump by Ryan Franklin. And he just stayed with it. Nice. Hauls it in. You could see that one. It was going to end up in his glove.
Well, that's a great jump on that ball.
Yep.
Good play. So 2 outs, runner at first. That's huge. And now it's Gomes, who's had a tough night. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. With the lefty up, Pujols is playing behind Scott Rolen. Now he'll hold him with the righty up. Another line drive into right. Ludwig comes up with it, and the Cardinals win it. And a diving catch from Ryan Ludwig. 2 fantastic plays in right field here in the 9th.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky. You have to have another good jump here as he comes in on this ball. Look at that. Dives. He has his bare hand to protect it, to hold on to it. And boy, that is a game saver.
Last 2 at bats, couple of strikeouts, but a couple of game saving catches possibly. Back with more in a moment.
Well, the game is over. We're just getting started, though, on Cardinals Live. Ricky, your thoughts on, well, 2 games, 2 victories.
Well, the Cardinals' first 2 starters did what we thought they would do, Pat. Both Wainwright and Carpenter did their job. And we're seeing a little problem early on with the Cincinnati Red bullpen. They've given up 16 runs in 2 games.
Ouch. Good thing for the Cardinals. Much more from Ricky coming up. Plus, ace number 1 did his job on opening day. Could ace number 2 follow suit? We'll break down Adam Wainwright's first start of the season. Take you back to the Queen City for player reaction and the manager's post-game thoughts. Plus, Ricky Orton tells us who will be taking home the hardware in the National League at the end of the season. Happy birthday to Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Cardinals Live. Coming up next.